Sex education, often deemed controversial, is more than a set of lessons. It is a pathway to understanding our body, our relationships, and the complexities of human intimacy. In a country where traditions and modernity coexist, where faith and culture intertwine, discussion about sex education are as multifaceted as the archipelago itself. Join us as we navigate through the different beliefs and practices, seeking to understand how the discourse around sex education shapes the lives of Filipinos.
Our exploration begins at the core of education, where young minds are shaped and ideas take form.
What topics or aspects of sex education do you think are most important for students to learn?
One thing about sexuality education in the Philippines is that it is mainly developmentally appropriate. So teachers don't personally decide the contents of sexuality education in the Philippines, but it is actually mainly dependent on the developmental stage of the students. It is also based on their rights, it's based on science, it's based on their age, and it's based on their culture to ensure that the contents of sexuality education are culturally acceptable, not only to the students, but also for the parents and other members of the community.
Do you think that the information that you are giving out to the students is factual and prevents any misconceptions?
So sexuality education in the Philippines is based on science. We're actually making sure that the contents of the curriculum in sex education are based on actual facts. So what we did is we partner with different members of the community, not only with other teachers, but also with social workers, health workers, to ensure the accuracy and appropriateness of the contents of sex education in the Philippines.
What are your thoughts on teaching sex education to students? Do you think it is important for them to learn about it?
I really believe that young generation is really at risk today. So we have the responsibility to enable them to make rational decisions based on adequate information. And we can only achieve that by offering sexuality educations at schools.
With current teen pregnancies on the rise, do you think sex education should be prioritized and be integrated in the current curriculum?
Well, the truth of the matter is that sexuality education has not been integrated in our educational system. So just to give you background information on the matter, back in 2012, Philippine legislators passed Reproductive Health Bill into a law, and part of the provisions of that law is that it mandates the Department of Education to integrate sexuality education in our curriculum, particularly with our K-12 curriculum. That's why in 2018, the Department of Education released policy guidelines that would serve as guide for our head teachers and school teachers in the implementation of sexuality education in our schools.
First question po, what are your insights about sex education?
Sex education. Sex education, sobrang maganda ng discussion regarding this sex education. Should be included in the curriculum, should have a separate subject or discussion about it, or it should be inclusive in the lesson plan of a certain subject. So medyo malawak kasi ang sex education. And when we talk about sex education, iba-iba kasi yung mga nagiging ideas of pinapasok sa isip ng mga teachers and students. But sex education is more about enlightening or breaking that up. So malawak ang sex education, depende yan, ang scope and limitations niyan ay magdidepende sa audience mo at sa goal mo at sa role mo. Are you a teacher? As a teacher, are you as a nurse? Okay, doon ay mag-iiba. And yung settings, saan ba yan? Sa school, sa community, sa barangay, di ba? Pag barangay health nurse ka, o kaya magpapang-furnace school ka sa barangay. Ganun mag-iiba ang sex education.
With current teen pregnancies on the rise, do you think sex ed should be prioritized and be integrated in the current curriculum?
Balik dito tayo sa situation ng clinic nurse ha, clinic teacher or clinic nurse. So school nurse, quarterly hinihingan kami, every quarter, so first quarter, second quarter, hinihingan kami ng data ng Division Office ilan ang teenage pregnancies sa school natin. So based on last few years, as the quarter goes by, nagkakaroon ng isa, dalawa, tatlo, and hinihingi na rin nila kung merong pregnant dito. So kung nandito ba yung nakaruntis o nasa labas ng school natin. Nakakalungkot kung meron kahit isa o dalawa. Okay? Pero kasi teaching sex education is very malawak. Bakit? This is not just the responsibility of the school. If you will ask me, it should be the responsibility of the parents. But because of my background in being a barangay health nurse, kulang ang information. Even the parents is kulang. Paano? How are they going to teach their kids? The thing is, what is happening right now, yung mga simple na bagay na yan, ang burden ay pinapasa na sa teachers, pinapasa na sa mga teachers, diba? Yung mga simple na bagay pa lang ng ganyan, hindi na nila nakukuha sa loob ng bahay. Ibinibigay na sa sila. Nakakalungkot na dumadami yung numbers kasi nagiging available ang information sa ibang streams or ibang avenue, online, internet, and hindi natin alam kung tao. There will always be a fact and a fake news about that. Hindi lahat ng nakikita at nababasa natin totoo or tama. Diba? Kami nga na nagpunta sa barangay noon, sa mga parents, may mga questions sila na, saan po nakukuha yung ganung idea? Diba? That's our part, is to correct. If you will to ask me, hindi lang siya dapat inclusive. There should be a trained person na magtuturo nito separate. Okay? May mga ganun dapat na tao na train kasi hindi lahat naman, how old ang tawag nito, di ba? May tamang tao na dapat magturo at mag-correct ng mga misconception nila. And again, your strategy is different kapag adult ang kausap mo at estudyante. Okay, hindi parehas na lagi ang strategies na magbibigay ng information at pagtuturo. Kasi, pag nagkakamali tayo ng strategies ng teaching, na-encourage natin ang kabataan. If they are not satisfied, they will try it. And it should not be encouraging to try it.
What are your thoughts on teaching sex education to students? Do you think it is important for them to learn about it?
Yes, it is very important, but there is a certain restriction. Not all. And in the right value or strategies of teaching, hindi ka panonoorin mo sila ng isang family, hindi dapat nila nakikita. It should start with it could be the anatomy and physiology, the reproductive system, and it should be separated out of it. Iwalay ang lalaki, iwalay ang babae.
Do you think that the information that you are giving out to the students is factual and prevents any misconceptions?
Because of the short period lang or short time lang na binibigay. Like for example, reproductive system lang. Kailan yung tinuturo? Biology grade 10. Diba? And I think that's one thing lang. Hindi ako nagkakamali. Reproductive system ay discuss lang natin sa kanila. So, to give information, hindi siya enough. Or siguro, ang tawag nito, to go deeper kasi nga, hindi naman separate ang babae at lalaki. So parang, you can just, tapos nag-iingat ka pa sa mga words and terms mo, di ba? Parang medyo restricted ka. Dahil you're thinking if somebody is, diba, ma-offend, parang gano'n. So may mga, pero ito grade 10. Grade 7, ang tinuturo kasi walang ganun sa grade 7. It's more of, ang biology nila is just more on cells, there's smoking. So, okay lang na tinuturo siya sa grade 10, pero alam ko na hindi siya naibibigay ng tama. Hindi enough or hindi sapat, lalo na hindi rin kasi-separate ang gender ng tinuturo ko. So, iba yung tingin ng babae, iba yung tingin ng lalaki ko.
How do you feel about the current state of sex education in schools and what improvements would you like to see?
More to improve pa talaga. That's what I've said. Kasi ini-include lang talaga siya sa lesson by around diba? Once in every topic. Yun lang naman siya. Pero marami pang trials and gagawin definitely. I-explore pa nila yan kung paano nila mas mag-improve pa at may bababa sa amin kung paano yung teaching ng sex education. But for us, may limitations na yun as a teacher since wala maayos na order from higher ups namin na ganito. So syempre, ang iniingatan natin dito is if somebody get offended, alam mo na, as a teacher din, as much as you want to teach, may mga limitations mo. Pero ang akin lang naman, ang lagi kong sinasabi sa inyo, you are not licensed to do any sex if you are outside marriage. And that is moral. Yun lang ang lagi kong sinasabi sa kanila. You can ask, you can read, you can get information, but you are not licensed to do it. Okay? It's just for you, good for you to know about it. Siyempre kasi, kapag yan, diba, may nararamdaman kayo, but you are not licensed to do it. That is a very important moral values that you must You may be knowledgeable, but you are not allowed to practice it unless you are inside the marriage.
As we conclude our journey within the classroom walls, the lingering notes of chalkboard discussions and the earnest endeavors of educators resonate in our thoughts. The world of education, with its challenges and triumphs, gives way to a broader canvas, one painted with the hues of tradition and faith. Our exploration continues, shifting from understanding the familiar surroundings of the classroom to peeling back the layers to understand the unearthed beliefs that surround sex education.
So sa tingin po ba, as a Catholic, do you think po ba na sex education affects your morals and values? If yes, paano?
Oo, it affects my morals and values because habang natututunan ko sa school yung topic na sex education, nag-i-instill siya ng discipline sa akin. Kasi hindi naman sinasabi ng mga teacher na huwag niyong gawin yan, maging disiplina kayo kasi masama yun. Hindi nila sinasabi na masama yun. Of course, may masama na part, pero may mabuti din na part. So, ang sinasabi lang nila ay maging discipline tayo in a way na dapat alam natin yung ginagawa natin, maging disiplinado tayo na alam na natin yung mali sa tama.
What are your thoughts on premarital sex?
My thoughts on premarital sex? Kasi lumaki ako na yung magulang ko, Catholic sila. So, syempre, sila conservative sa topic na ganyan, yung premarital sex. Ang sasabihin nila, masama yun, huwag mong gawin kasi nga, maguguntis ka ng maaga, ganun. Which is, agagawin naman ako, tama naman sila. So, pero nung nasa school na ako, mas natutunan ko lalo na, para maiwasan to, dapat ina-educate talaga yung mga kabataan para alam nila yung tama sa mali. Kasi kung na-educate sila ng maaga, hindi nila ginawa yun. Or kung gawin man nila, alam nila yung dapat gawin para ma-prevent yun.
What are your insights po about sex education?
Para sa akin po, yung sex education is, ayun po yung education na nag-help sa tao na maalam yung about sa sex or sa reproduction ng isang tao. Well, ito din yung tumutulong para maging ready yung mga kabataan or yung mga tao na malaman yung about sa sex na dapat nga na nalalaman natin simula pagkabata pa.
So, with the current teen pregnancies on the rise po, do you think na yung sex ed po ay dapat prioritize or integrated po in the current curriculum?
Yes po. Kasi po, habang patagal ng patagal, wala pong kaalaman yung mga bata ngayon na about sa sex. Kaya talagang pumapasok lang sila sa relationship na hindi handa. Kaya ngayon, tumataas na yung teenage pregnancy kasi kulang sila sa education.
So, do you think sex education po affects your morals or values po?
Hindi naman po.
So, ano po yung mga yung mga thoughts po ng religion niyo about po sa premarital sex?
Yun po, yung premarital sex, pagdating sa religion namin is pinagbabawal po sa amin yun. Hindi po pwedeng makipag-live-in or makipagsama yung guy tsaka sa girl hanggat hindi pa po sila nakakasal.
What are your insights po about sex education?
Sa tingin ko po sa sex education, as a student, may positive and negative impacts po to sa mga estudyante. Depende po sa pag-i-interpret nila, di ba? Kasi kahit sa common sense lang natin, yung mga estudyante may sarili-sariling moral perspectives. Sa positive side, comprehensive sex education can contribute to a better understanding of reproductive health. Kaya lang natin siguro para sa akin, kaya natin 'to inaaral para hindi para sa bastos, 'di ba? Para magkaroon tayo ng idea sa kumbaga yung para maiwasan natin yung hindi pinlanong pagkabuntis, ganun. Sexually transmitted infections, ganun po.
Now, do you think sex education affects your morals and values? If yes, how so?
Yung epekto nito, kumbaga may mga iba't ibang perspectives. Yung comprehensive sex education can distract students or lead to discomfort, potentially affecting their academic focus. Yun nga, sa moral aspect nito, viewpoints differ across religions. Some religious groups may embrace sex education as means to promote responsible behavior, while others may be more conservative, expressing concerns about the content conflicting with religious teachings.
So, ngayon po, ano po yung mga thoughts ng mga Islam sa premarital sex?
Sa amin po mga Islam, premarital sex is generally considered impermissible. Pinagbabawal po ito. Islamic teachings emphasize the importance of chastity and modesty, encouraging sexual relations only within the bonds of marriage. Kumbaga pinahihintulutan yung premarital sex kapag ito'y kasal na. Nabanggit din po kasi sa Quran at saka sa Hadith, may sayings and actions of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, provide guidelines on ethical behavior, and premarital relations are viewed as contrary to those principles.
As we engage with representatives from various faiths, it becomes evident that the beliefs surrounding sex education are deeply rooted in tradition. The Roman Catholic perspective, emphasizing the sanctity of life and moral values, the Iglesia ni Cristo's commitment to community and discipline, and the Islamic perspective highlighting modesty and respect. In these interviews, we've unveiled a detailed tapestry of beliefs that reflect the diverse cultural and religious landscape of the Philippines. These foundational perspectives play a crucial role in shaping the approach to sex education, striking a delicate balance between tradition and the evolving needs of society. Progressive sex education initiatives have a significant impact, going beyond individual understanding. Communities that welcome change show resilience in the faces of challenges. These initiatives, through open dialogue, have sparked conversations that go beyond societal norms, promoting resilience and paving the way for a more informed and empowered generation.